This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. So let's continue from where we left yesterday. We were looking into the different methods how we can pass an input to the script. So one of them was the command line arguments. The other option is to read an input during or prompt the user. And third one was to go with an option of standard input. Okay. Today we'll look at some of the ways how we can run the script that is in the background and in the foreground. So let's take one example and try to understand how we can run the script in the background and in the foreground. Okay, let me connect here. Okay, let's copy the template and I will go with one of the while loop. So we'll try to understand how the while loop works as well. Okay, so let me go with this while loop. Okay, I'll define a variable. Let's say count is equal to 0, and I will call a while loop. Basically, I'll make it as an infinite loop so that I just want to print the numbers onto the console. So I'll go with this option here, and I will increment the count is equal to dollar count plus 1. So I just want to display the numbers onto the console. I will echo the count dollar count. Okay, the simple while loop. Once I'm and I'll go with the done statement. Okay, so let me save this. I can add a delay as well. So after the count or after echoing the count, I can just add a delay here. So I can put a sleep command as 1 second. Okay, so let me save this. I'll change the mode. Okay, so now let's run this and see what happens. As you can see here, it is printing the numbers onto the console, but I am not getting my prompt back. The shell prompt I'm not getting back, right? So for this, I need to go with the control Z, control Z. So you can see it is showing as stopped. Now the script that was running, it has been stopped. Okay, so how can you check that? You just type in jobs and you'll be able to see that one of the script that was there, it is in the stopped state. Okay, now in order to bring this to the background, I want to run the script but in the background. So the command is pg, okay, and I will go with the percentage. I need to give the job number to start. Okay, now what will happen is it will continue from where it left, and you can see that now if I press enter, I'll get my command prompt back. Let's say if I go with ls-l, I'll be able to list, and this will be running in the background, but it will not stop me from running any command. I'll be getting the prompt here. Okay, but if I want to kill this, I can even kill this %1, then that job will be killed. So if I say jobs now, it is saying as terminated. Okay. Similarly, we can also run this script on the foreground as well. Let's say I'm going with this while loop again. Let me run it. Okay, so I can stop it. So it is stopped now. Let's say I want to run it in the foreground. Same way, %1. So it will again start running in the foreground. Right? It will not get the console prompt back. Again, stop it. So let me kill this again. So I'll run it in the background, %1. Okay, let me kill it, %1. Okay, so there is other way I can run the script when I'm running the script, right? Let's say while loop, I can simply go with ampersand. So this ampersand will force the script to run in the background automatically. You don't have to wait for just stopping the script and running in the background. So as soon as you give ampersand with the script, so it will automatically run in the background. If I press enter now, it will start running in the background, so that I'll get my command prompt. So I can start, if I want to type anything, I can go with that one. Okay, so remember this ampersand will force the script to run in the background. Let's say some batch job is running and um, you don't want the script to be stopped, so you can run it in the background, so it will automatically run in the background and you can do your work, like anything you want to check any command or something like that, quickly you want to see something, then you can get the prompt back and you can work from the console. Okay. See, right now it is running state, so I'll just kill that now. Okay, so now it is killed. So if I go to the jobs, uh, so it is in the terminated state now. So this is the way you can run any script in the background or in the foreground as per the requirements there. Okay, so let's quickly get to the presentation and see what's next in there. So if condition. Mm, So how to write a if condition in shell scripting. So let's have a look at that. And again, we'll have the look at the other concepts that we have after the if condition. Let me clear this. Let me copy the template if condition dot sh. Okay. Now, how do you write a if condition? Just we go with the if and there's a space here. The different conditions that you can use here with the if. Let's say I want to test a file. For the file test, I want to see if the file exists. I can go with -f. The directory is there, -d. If the file has got read permissions or not, I can check with -r. Same way, -wx, and any size you want to check for the file, you can go with the -s. Similarly, you can also check some string conditions. Let's say string equals to or string not equal to, and you can even check the numbers. Let's say I want to check some equals. You'll be writing eq greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, not equal to. So this is what we'll be using in the shell scripting. Okay. Similarly, logical conditions also you can test in the if block, okay, and or not. So these are all the possibilities that you can add in the conditions for the if block. Okay, now let's go with one of the example. Like I want to check the read permissions for the file. Let's go and see that. So I'll go with a -r, and followed by that I want to check the read permissions for one of this shadow folder. The shadow folder is where all the user details, how many the users that are created, will be displayed in this folder, in this file. Sorry. So let's go and check that if I have access to this particular file path. Okay. If the condition is satisfied, I can display a message saying that read access available. Okay, read access is available. Um, Else, I can go with the else condition. And echo saying that access is denied. And finally, I'll close the if block with the fi statement. So simple. So most of the scripts that we'll be working on are you can have a look at them on any of the online resources. You'll be seeing it'll be having most of the if conditions, loops, and things like that. Right? It will be a combination of all this. At least if you look at it now, you'll be able to understand how the if blocks is there, and what is the condition it is checking there. Okay, so let's save this now and try to execute it. So it's saying access denied. um, let's look at the permissions for that file, /etc shadow. So I can see that there is no permissions, only the root user is having access to this file. So any user will not have, any user that is logged in will not have access to this file. So only the root user is having the access. So let's do one thing. Let's go with the sudo command and elevate the permissions as a root and try to run the script. Now it is saying that the read access is available. So you can have a look at the file, etc shadow. So this is all the users details. You can find it here. And this is a default user that is created, and then we created the DevOps demo as a user. So it's very read only. It's always read only. Okay, likewise, we can go with any of the conditions there as given in this presentation. Like you can make a note of all of these, like string test, number test, and things like that. Okay, What else we have? So this is assignment that you guys can try, like what we have learned till this point. Um, like create a script to add an user in Linux. Basically, um, you need to prompt an user to give what is the username and check if that user is already existing on the system. If it is not, then you will create that user and basically provide a super user or sudo access to this user. Then you'll set a default password for that user. And once the default password is set and you need to force the user, this is an optional condition here. You should force the user to change the password on the first login. Okay, so this is an assignment. You guys can try it. We'll have a look at it after a couple of days. So just give it a try, and we will then um, explain as to how logically we'll be addressing writing any script. Okay, I can just put it to the chat window just for your reference. Okay, so let's look at what else we have got here. So any questions so far till this point?
No,
So in the
but
previous sessions also. Yep.
yeah, no, but we'll come with this weekend. We'll have some questions definitely after
All
doing
right.
some
Okay.
practice. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I can just go back and practice it. And if you find any difficulties or if you find any questions that needs to be answered, let me know. Okay.
sure.
All right. So we'll continue with a few more concepts. Okay. Shell variable and exit status. Okay. Let's have a look at this one. This is interesting. Let's clear this. So we were looking at, let me type one command like say id and give some randomly. What this id does is id will give the details of say DevOps demo. This is a user, right? So it will give the details like what is the user id, what is the group id, what groups it belongs to, DevOps demo and wheel group. Okay, so if I type in id and randomly I just type in some name, it will say that no such user. Okay, and there is a dollar question mark that's inbuilt. um, uh, this is one of the variable, you can say the inbuilt variable, system defined variable. So whenever you run a command and check for the status of this dollar question mark, if there is an error, it will always return a non-zero value. It can be 1, 2, big depends on the type of error it is. So sometimes it will be 1, 2, or it is system defined, so it will be non-zero value. And let's say if I go with the successful scenario, let's say DevOps demo. So it is displayed some value onto the console. In this case, if I go with echo dollar question mark, it'll always give me a zero value. So when it is successfully executed, the previous command, when it is successfully executed without error, the exit status of that command will be zero. Okay, so this is very important. Like we'll be making use of this frequently in our scripts to see if our previous command has executed successfully or not. Okay, so if it is executed successfully, it should return a value of 0. If it is non-zero, then there is some issue that we need to have a look at it. So this slide talks about the same thing. When the Linux command is successful, it will return a status of 0. When it fails, the status will be non-zero. So it might depend. It might be 1, 2, 3, 20. Some error status it is assigned by the system there. Okay, and this is stored in the special variable called as dollar question mark. So dollar question mark. So this is the one of the special variable that we were talking about, right? So this dollar question mark. So the exit status of the most recently run process. So this is the one we'll be making use of. Okay. Else we have redirectors. So again, this is important. So let's have a look at this one example now. Let's take the same example, ID, and I'm going with this. So what it is happening right now is this is an error. Okay, let's take the positive scenario first. Okay, it's displaying the message onto the console, which I'm not interested in. Let me say I want to send the output of this command to a file. I want to redirect it to a file. Let's say test.txt. I can do that. So instead of displaying it onto the console, now it is being sent to the file. So I can check that. And see that it is being sent to this particular file. Now this is a positive scenario where that is successfully it is sent here. Now even in case of an error, um, also I can redirect it to the same file. You can see that it is throwing an error there, but it's not sending that particular error to the file. The reason is internally error is given a value of 2. Okay, so there's one slide I'll want to bring that out. So wherever there is a standard output, it's assigned a value of 1. Wherever there is a standard error on the screen, it's assigned a value of 2. Okay, so that's where I am saying this is an error. If it is an error, redirect it to the test.txt file. So if I want to check now, so you can see that the error has been redirected to this file. Now the problem is it is overwriting the previous value it stored. The previous value it stored is this one. Previous value is stored is this one. Now it has just overwritten whatever is there in that file, and only this is being displayed. Now how to overcome this? Instead of going with a single redirection, I can go with a double arrow mark. Okay, and now if I see that cat statement, it will append to the existing file. Earlier what used to happen, it was overwriting the existing file, and now it is appending to the existing file. Now I want to whether it is a successful scenario or an error scenario, I want to send it to the same file. We have an option there. The option is whenever there's a standard output, I have to send it to the same file test.txt, and even if there is an error, okay, even in that case I want to send it to the same file test.txt. Okay, so let me run this command and go to the test.txt. You can see that the standard output also it is being redirected to the same file. Okay, now let me go and change it, make it as DevOps demo 123 something like that, and go and check the file. Now you can see that there is no such user. and it will keep on appending to the same file over here. So this is how you can redirect the standard output and the standard error to a file, and you can start appending it to the same file using the syntax like one read. This is called the redirection, and this is the file name. Even if there is an error, you are trying to send it to the same file here with this &1. So this is what this slide talks about. Um, with this, what happens is it will redirect the data to the specified file. It will overwrite the contents. So that is the difference. It will overwrite. If the file does not exist, it will create it and then it will overwrite the contents. But in this scenario, what happens is with the double redirection, it will redirect the data to the file, but the thing is the it will append to the contents of the file. It will not overwrite, but it will append to the contents of the file. And this also will create the file if the file does not exist. Okay, so this makes sense. Like whenever in the script you want to, instead of displaying all the errors to the user who is running the script, we will redirect it to some of the log file. And if there is any issue we find with running the script, we go and open that log file and see what was the issue there. So this will help us in debugging the script by redirecting the output to one of the files like this. Okay, so this is the redirectors. One of the important thing that we usually use it in our script. So this is very important. Okay, any questions on this one?
No, this is clear.
Okay. So let's continue with the case statement. I think you just need to know the syntax. Rest of the thing is all same. Like you start with the case and you end with the exec. You go with the variable name in, and you give the choice one, whatever the command you want to run here, choice two, whatever the command, and star, this is a default. If none of the choice is working, it will run the default one. So nothing much to explain here. The case statement, you can try it out. Looping, coming to the looping, I think we already covered for loop, while loop. For loop, let's have a quick look at some of the examples. Like let's say I want to display numbers from 1 to 10. Let's take this first example. Let me clear this. For let's say n in, I can give a range like 1 to 10, and sorry, I can echo $n, and I'm done with that. So it'll display numbers starting from 1 to 10. So this is one way you can do it. Let's say I can give a string here as instead of a range, I can give a string here. Let's say for en, or I can say for name in Tom cat server, something like that. I'll start the do. I will echo $name. I'm done. So what it will do is, this is a list you are giving. It will iterate for 3 times and it will display all the names over here. Okay, this is one of the method. Okay, so what else we have? Or I can read it from a file as well. Let's say I have some list of users defined in a file which I want to pass it to a for loop. Then that is possible. If I can create emp.txt file, employee.txt file. In here, I will go and add the same thing, like say Tom, Peter, something like Sharma, whatever. I'll just add some names here. I'll save this file. Okay, now for n in, I can go with the dollar symbol and say cat emp.txt. Okay, do. I'll just echo the names there, this format. Okay, so you can even pass a file. In the file, it'll iterate with all the names and it'll display onto the screen here. So you can go with the dollar symbol, or there's another way you can write this. So that is, you can go with the, the backtick option. Usually this is not visible, so you can either go with dollar or you can go with the backtick. Both of them works the same. Okay, so these are the different ways how you can use the looping for loop. And similarly, we have the while loop as well. And the only difference is you'll check for the condition. If the condition is true, only then you will go and execute the while block. And you will have a condition modifier here within the code block. As long as the condition is true, it will go and execute the while block here. And the syntax is all same. We have the while, um, we need to write the while and followed by the condition there, do and done. Within that, you will have the commands that you want to execute. Okay, that's pretty much same. The functions, I think we'll have a look at it tomorrow. I think that's the last part in the shell scripting, how to write a function, and then we'll have a look at some of the backup script is also one of the thing that we will take as an assignment. We will try to back up a folder based on the name and the target directory, and we'll try to see that as well. Okay. So any questions to this point? So this is all about shell scripting. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Sorry, the session didn't. I mean, like, it's still throwing error for me after adding that private key as well. I don't know what was wrong with my
Okay.
system or that.
So you did you add the public key on to the
Yes, on that metadata, I added it.
instance? Uh-huh. Is it still throwing error?
Yeah, and I tried setting the firewalls also, but it's still the same. I don't know what. Only the GCP is working. Nothing else is working for me.
Okay. All right. Let's. So you've added the public key over here. You're saying, right? So you generated the uh,
Yeah,
private and the public key, and you
SSH.
added the public key here. You're saying.
Yeah, hyphen keygen. From there, I copied and kept in the metadata. I edited it. I mean the instance name, and
Mm-hmm.
then I added the SSH key. I mean SSH item, whatever. I
Mm-hmm.
forgot what it is actually. SSH keys, yes.
Yeah, this is the okay
Yeah.
SSH keys. Okay.
So I tried multiple times. So I was like frustrated and left it. Like I'm using the same thing. I don't know what's wrong with that.
Okay. So you're using the Google Chrome only, right? By any
Yeah.
chance,
Yes.
the browser
And
is Chrome browser only.
I'm using Chrome. Yes. I'm using Chrome.
Um, okay, it should work because I've not seen because I don't have a Chrome to try and test it out here. But I'm just wondering why it should throw an error. Um,
Yeah.
um, That is strange. Like
Even
I
when
don't
I'm
know.
trying with the external IP also, it's not allowing me to log in. There is another option, right? You using the private SSH key browser, even that is not
Mhm.
working.
Uh, can you try this view gcloud command? Run in cloud shell.
That is what
This
I'm using
one.
right now. That is the only option that is working.
Okay, go there and we will add a user and
Mm,
then you can connect via the password. So even that option can work.
okay, I'll
Go with the
try.
gcloud. Yeah, go with the gcloud. The only
Mm,
thing you need to be the option we are connecting the browser is to create an user and
mm,
set up the password authentication, right? So you can go to the cloud shell and create a user,
okay,
uh, set up the password authentication, and then you should be able to use it from your um, oh, you need to use the putty, right? You'll not be having a password-based authentication. Okay, you can copy your public key onto the new user you created, and then you can use it.
yeah, I'll
You
try
got it
that
right.
option.
Yeah,
Yes,
that
yes,
way you
I'll
can
try
try
that
it.
option.
Yeah, you create a user here, set
Mhm.
up the password-based authentication as well, and the public key also you copy to the authorized folder. There will be authorized folder under SSH.
Yeah.
I'll show you that. So just go there and copy it, and then you will be able to access it. This is a workaround, but I don't see any other option as of now. Like it's not working.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll try that
yeah,
and
that's
like
yeah,
check that back.
that's one option only. Yeah, so don't have SSH folder. Ah, it's not there, but you can create that SSH folder, and on the authorized keys,
Mm,
um, you can do a maybe SCP copy also should work. Try a SCP copy. Once you create this user, right? Try to do a SCP copy. I think that might work, or from the console. Also, you can try. Say it is adding some. Oh, it is creating right before generating the SSH keys. So it has created. So it has added the. Let's see. Let me clear this.
So when you tried using that SSH key, SSH key gen, it was asking you the password. I mean, like we give that passphrase, and then it says like it is connecting to metadata for you, right? It was never showing me
No,
that.
see, you can add it to this file here. You can see, right? This is the you generate a public and a private key. The public you add it here
Okay.
under this folder, and then you should be able to connect. You got it right. So go to the Google Cloud Console. Under the
Mm,
authorized keys, you paste your public key. Okay, let it be this one. You just add below that, just below this authorized keys, right? So add it to the next
mm,
line here. This let it be as it is. Add to the next line, and then try
mm.
accessing from your MacBook terminal.
Okay, 1 second. Oh, it's long. I think I already had. I tried this. I already added it when I'm checking this dot SSH. Sorry, under authorized key, I see that the thing that I added.
You're able to see that public key there and authorized keys.
Yeah, under authorized keys, yes.
Okay, it is the one you
Transaction.
added. You can see two keys there, one or two. Already
I
one will
see.
be there. That will be. Huh?
Yeah. No, I actually added it. I did trial and error method in the afternoon, so I don't know which one is what now. I have to erase something and I
Um,
have to start over.
yeah, probably add it to the next line there. Don't overwrite the existing keys there. So add it to the next line so that there's no confusion there. Add it to the next line. So it will be like this. If it is generated here, right? So it will say, okay, this last line will tell, okay, who is the this is generated by the Google Cloud. This is the user, and so on and so forth, right? The last line. Up to here is the key. Up to here is the key, right? And the last
Mm.
line will tell whether it is added by you or the Google Cloud. Yeah, just go to the next line here and add it to the next line at the end, very last. So you can add it here, like just leave a
Yeah,
space and
I'll
add your
try
key
that.
here. Yeah, just try that and let's see.
Sorry, Karthik, I took your time too.
Sorry, that's okay. We are done with this today for today.
Okay.
We'll get started with, we'll have one more just topic left, that is functions. We'll take it in tomorrow's session, and also we'll get started with some of the git commands and things like that.
Okay. Functions and the backup and Git.
Yeah, git, we'll try to start git if time permits, like um,
Okay. How is it showing some 21,000 credits for you? Activate and all.
um, it's the dollars, right? The $300 is converted into rupees, and it's
Oh, okay,
showing us.
okay, okay. Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
yeah, it's just the $300.
Okay. Yeah, I ignored that symbol, rupee symbol. Okay.
If you're able to connect, that will be great. Otherwise, yeah, AWS
Uh,
also is
I'll
fine,
I'll
but
actually
yeah.
redo that again after closing this
Okay.
session. So so
Yeah,
I
yeah. Just
yeah.
try this out. I think that's the only option there. Add it to the authorized keys and then try
Mm.
to connect. I think this will be, yeah, this will be the username, right? You'll be getting this username and at the IP address. You try to connect it there.
Okay.
All right. I think we'll close it here for today. We will talk. Um, about functions, and I try to run with whatever we have learned. Just try to execute this assignment, and we'll also have a look at it in the coming sessions there. All right.
Okay.
Um, and to the question, like I think Karthik wanted to know more about some of the Fibonacci series. I just found some examples, like maybe I need to cut, like, I can put it in the chat window. Like, yeah, this is one of the example I found. Um, just maybe just put it in the chat window. It's again, I want to display 5 Fibonacci series. It'll just give an input as 5, and the output will be something like this. I just scroll down, and this is a script that we have programmed to write a Fibonacci series. We have a for loop, starts with I less than this, n is the number we are providing, and we'll echo, and this is some function they have written that will generate the, basically it will generate, it is adding a plus b, and then that's a simple for loop here. This is the value a, b, and things like that. Okay, likewise, we can see many examples. Let me try to collate if I find more examples, and I will be sending it across. Okay. All right, if any questions, let's close the session for today then, if you don't have any questions.
Okay.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
We'll talk tomorrow then. All right. Thank you for
Sure.
joining. Thanks everybody.
Yeah.
Bye bye. Bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah, thanks.